Have you been thinking about starting a yoga practice, but you're not quite sure where to start? You're not quite sure what class or studio you should jump into and check out? Are you a little intimidated about who's going to be there, who's going to be judging you and your practice as you're starting out? Because maybe you think you're not flexible or whatnot, or maybe you're not strong enough to do some of the poses, or you don't understand what they're talking about. If that's you, then today we're going to try to clear some of that up in this video by talking about what yoga class should you start with if you have never taken yoga before. What's happening, folks? My name is Larry Milburn. Welcome to Yoga for Dudes here on YouTube. My goal is to help demystify some stuff around yoga, find that dude in the rough, bring him forth onto the mat, and help him improve his quality of life. So, here we go. What class should you start with? You should start, if you've started with nothing before, if you are totally starting from scratch, you want to find a restorative yoga class, you want to find a yoga basics class, or even a level 1 class. Now, all studios are different, and they will label their classes in certain different ways. So some places might might call them level 1, level 2, level 3. Some might say yoga basics. Some might say intro to yoga. So you have to look and read the descriptions. That's if you want to start at a studio. But if you're going to start at a studio, that is what I recommend. A level 1, an intro to yoga, or a restorative class, or a yoga basics class. Sometimes studios even offer like an event, a seminar, maybe 2 or 3 hours where you learn a little bit about the history of yoga and whatnot, and then they ease you into it. Another way to go at a studio is to book yourself a 1-hour private session with an instructor. Obviously, let them know this is your first time ever doing yoga. You want to know and understand the basics so that you can go and jump into a class. I've had many students, particularly guys, come through me that way that had never practiced yoga before, and their spouse or partner or friend said, you know what, you would really benefit from taking yoga. So they purchased for them an hour private session with me. We did the hour together. Some guys decided to take another hour a week later and then jump into class with me. And I usually started them in my restorative class or my yoga basics class. I teach 3 public classes a week. I teach a yoga basics class, a restorative class, and a vigorous vinyasa class. If you are just starting out, I would not take any class labeled vigorous, okay? Let's just put that right out there. If you're more advanced, sure, you can go ahead and jump into that. But if you're just starting out, let's keep it really simple and really light. I have seen many students come in, try to jump in because they're used to working out at the gym, or they're a big cyclist or whatever it is. They fancy themselves a big hiker and they think, I can handle this. And they get into a vigorous class or a more advanced yoga class, and it doesn't quite go the way they think it's going to go. They might be a little tight, they might be a little tired, that whatever their thing is, the class doesn't go so well. And if the class is moving quickly, which they can as you get into a more advanced class, and the teacher is not on it or paying attention and they don't help you with alignment, you can hurt yourself and then be turned off from coming back to a yoga class. So I would suggest start easy. You're still going to get the benefits. There are only so many yoga poses out there, so it's just a matter of how slow you want to do them or how quickly you want to do them and how many breaths for each pose that you want to do. So I would start with something super easy. Now that's if you want to go to a studio. If you want to start something online, then Yoga for Dudes is a great place to check out. There's also Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. She's amazing. There's Yoga with Cassandra and many, many others. So it's up to you in terms of how you want to start. There are also phenomenal resources online that you can check out and download that aren't YouTube channels, but maybe just a text or a book. If you head over to yogafordudes.com and you sign up for the mailing list, I have a 20 pose beginner's guide for dudes that will break down 20 of the most common yoga poses that you will encounter in most classes that you go into. So that's also a good place to start. You sign up for the mailing list. It's a free PDF download, fancy little pictures I took, and lots of descriptions for each pose. So you could check that out and start with that and then go to a class. But that's what I would recommend. If you're thinking about where to start, find a book. There's lots of great books. Maybe I'll do a video in the future about my favorite yoga books. If you're interested, leave me a comment below. And in fact, leave me a comment below and tell me where you are in your journey so I can get to know you, and where you started in yoga. And if this is your first time doing yoga, and how hard or easy it was for you to jump into a class having never done it before. So to go back, if you've never started yoga, or if you've never jumped into a class because you're intimidated, I suggest taking a private session first with somebody. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but hey, you're investing in your health and your well-being. So maybe make that step. So do a private with somebody. Maybe you know a yoga teacher and you can barter with them for something, right? Private class. Jump into a yoga basics, a restorative class, or an intro to yoga class, or a level 1 class. There are hundreds of studios, hundreds and thousands of studios all over the world and country right now, and in most major cities. So check one of those out. The goal is to get on this thing, your yoga mat, and get moving. So that's where I would start, with those 3 things, and then start slowly. And remember, this is a practice. This is not yoga perfect. That's one of my dad jokes that I tell in class. It's called yoga practice, not yoga perfect. All right? The whole thing is showing up as consistently as you can. Does that mean every day? For some people, not for everybody. Does that mean every other day? For some people, not for everybody. Maybe it's once a week. Maybe you literally start with 10 minutes once a week, and that's your yoga practice. And when you're ready and you feel comfortable, you bump that up a little bit, okay? So the point is to get on your mat and get yourself moving. Most people out there aren't moving enough, and they're not taking care of themselves. And that's what I want for you, to start taking care of yourself. That's what I got. I hope this video was helpful in helping you find the best place to start your yoga practice. If it was, hit that thumbs up button. If it wasn't, you can hit the thumbs down. That's cool too. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you're looking for, and I will try to answer back and guide you as a way to go. Check out some of the other videos. I'm just starting to grow this channel and put some things out there. I would love to hear from you, and head over to yogafordudes.com, sign up for that mailing list and newsletter, and get yourself a free PDF download of the 20 most common yoga poses for beginners. All right? Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.